Hi, good afternoon, Phillies fans. Welcome to the Fighting's Final here on the It's Rap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call, and I have the dubious honor. Well, the sweep did not happen. The six-game winning streak is over, and the Phillies missed an opportunity to outright sweep or outright clinch the National League East in front of the faithful with a win. They lost today 10-3, very uninspiring, a game that we really haven't seen. It's been a very common occurrence, this type of game, but it hasn't been common lately as the Phillies have found all that pop in their step. But today, Aaron Nola, again, leads the list of what went wrong today. They reverted back to some bad habits, both offensively and pitching. And the bullpen was not good. Salvador Perez owns the Phillies, and the Royals salvaged one of the three games this weekend with a 10-3 win. And again, the biggest story today is the Phillies missed an opportunity to run out and celebrate the National League East championship in front of the home crowd. But we are going to scoreboard watch because the Phillies do have a chance still to turn this day into a good day as they've gone to the bottom of the ninth in New York. The game is tied 2-2, so the Mets have a chance to walk off. Now, if the Mets win, we got to wait till we go out to L.A. and try to clinch tomorrow. If the Mets lose, the Phillies will clinch the NL East. So there is still a chance the Phillies find their way to a National League Eastern Division championship today. It's just going to be a little bit of a scoreboard watch here as they fell today hard, 10-3. Losing the rubber match of this series and failing to sweep the series, losing the winning streak, all the bad stuff went down today, and it was not good. Let's get to the storylines. Obviously, Aaron Nola is my number one storyline in this game. 6 innings of labored, frustrating, all too familiar Aaron Nola. He looks locked down through the first part of the lineup, maybe into the second time through the lineup, but then by the time he gets to that halfway point, the second into the third time, it's open season on him. Nola was 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned. A walk, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. 2 more home runs given up by Aaron Nola. Well, listen, as all the good vibes lately about the Phillies and the way they've been finding ways to win and pretty much putting a stranglehold on this division, I'm sorry, I'm not getting that excited about it because I expected them to do this. I expected them to win the National League East. I expected them to make the playoffs this year. My expectations or my sights have been firmly set on October since March 26th. And there are some good signs about what this baseball team might be in October, but there's, again, still some of those lingering problems that don't seem to want to address themselves or fix themselves, and Aaron Nola is the top of that list. We need Aaron Nola to pitch better. I'm not going to get into the, pitch to contact, not try to overpower hitter nonsense. Aaron Nola's been around this league long enough to know if something's not working, he needs to switch it up or he needs to find another way to do it. And the breaking ball today was breaking, but it was breaking right over the heart of the plate, and people were making him pay, and especially Salvador Perez. Aaron Nola's being paid like an ace, and he sure as hell ain't pitching like one. And I know that I've always said that pitching to me is one of the lower priority problems of this baseball team. I still maintain that. But Aaron Nola needs to find Aaron Nola. He needs to find it and needs to find us very quickly because we're going to go into this playoff run in October, and Aaron Nola will be a deciding factor to the Phillies' success come October. As much as people don't want to necessarily want to pin that or maybe believe that, Aaron Nola is going to have a lot to say about what happens to the Phillies in this playoffs. So what we've seen from Nola all year in an abbreviated, he pitched terribly and then he got shut down for 3 months, comes back. It's been up and down, roller coaster. One game he's pitching well. Next game he gets bombed. 2 games he pitches okay. Next game he gets bombed. It's got to switch, man. I need Aaron Nola to find Aaron Nola. And I honestly don't know if Aaron Nola can find Aaron Nola. I don't know if this is what Aaron Nola is now, and we're just going to have to deal with it. And when you have a bunch of starters around him that maybe sort of absorb some of that, it doesn't seem like a glaring problem. But when you don't have Zach Wheeler going into the playoffs, Aaron Nola is going to have to step up and be that ace. He just has to be. I know everyone's looking, no, maybe Chris Sanchez can be that guy. Aaron Nola needs to be that guy. And that's what he's paid to be. That's what he's here to be. That's what he's always been expected to be. It's not worked out, but he needs to be that guy. And Aaron Nola was certainly not that guy today. A dreadful performance by him. And offensively for the Phillies today. Once again, we're reverting back to some extremely bad habits. Today, all 3 runs that the Phillies scored were via the home run. It's almost like literally it's like a show game. You know, it's like the Phillies are a video game and that all they can do is score runs through the home run. They hit 3 home runs today. Harper, Stott, and Schwarber with his 51st. But that was all the offense the Phillies could get going. The Phillies were 0 for 0 with runners in scoring position. The Phillies did not put one runner in this game in scoring position. That's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. I had taken 0 for 8 more than I accept an 0 for 0. No runners made it into scoring position for the Phillies today. Just pathetic. They dinked and dunked their way around 5 hits, and just was really no offense at all. If you want to look at a bright spot offensively, and if you want to take a look at something and be like, you know what? Yeah, okay, maybe this I'm sorry, that wasn't Harper who hit the home run. It was Realmuto. That's the bright spot. It's JT today, 2 for 4 with the run. He had the RBI and the home run. So maybe that's the one bright spot you pull from this game as JT Realmuto continues to sort of hit his way back into style or form. But other than that, what do you pull out of this game offensively? I mean, it was a very stark picture of what things have been for this team offensively when they get bad. And this morning on the PNM and the AM program, I want to shout out those guys for a good job. There was a lot of high-fiving and a lot of celebrating going on about the resurgent Phillies in mid-September. Listen, guys, man, we are not anywhere near where we need to be. And there's still days like today that can bring sort of those memories back. And baseball is a weird sport, man. One day you're riding high, one day you're riding low the next. And now the Phillies have now the Phillies will hit the road and go out to LA for a West Coast trip. And lucky me, here it is. Here's your West Coast trip for the Fightins final, for at least for the first part of it. I got you tomorrow night or Tuesday morning, however that thing breaks. And Steve will come at you on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And I got you Wednesday night, Thursday morning. How the hell did that happen? Why am I the one getting deprived sleep? But that's going to be the Fightins final lineup as the Phillies will hit the road west to Los Angeles and battle the Dodgers and then the Diamondbacks over the weekend. So missed an opportunity. Let's check in. Where are they at? They have moved to extra innings in New York. It is 2-2 heading into the top of the 10th inning. So the game is so we're keeping an eye on that for you. The Phillies still with an opportunity to win the division. They just got to wait on some help. But welcome to the Fightins final, and welcome to the It's a Wrap Sports Network. A busy day on the network. Earlier today, you might have caught the Steel City Sunday Steeler pregame show. They're going on with the postgame show right now on the other side here. Make sure that once you're done watching me, head over there. I don't know. It was on when I went on the air. I don't know if it's still on. So make sure you're checking that out. And then a little bit later on tonight, and about, I guess kickoff's here soon, right? Is it started? It's about to start. We got the Eagles, Chiefs, Birds flyby postgame show. And then finishing out your night tonight is myself doing the final words. So a big day on the network as we got your Sunday covered here. Week 2 in the NFL. But we're talking Phillies baseball today. We're talking just a bad effort, 10-3 loss to the Royals. We also are going to do some down on the Phillies farm today. It is Sunday, and we still do have the minor leagues to talk about. It's dwindling. Double-A has finished its play today, so we're only going to report on. So we talked about last week that Single-A, both levels, high and low, were done. We're not going to report on either the Threshers or the Blue Claws. Now, we are going to talk about some Thresher baseball because they did get into the playoffs, but they are no longer in the playoffs as they were swept out of there by the Lakeland Flying Tigers, whatever they are. But we are going to talk some Gage Wood specifically, as Gage Wood pitched in the second game of that playoff series, pitched one of the final games of the regular season as well. So we got a little bit of a sample size to talk about Gage Wood. And then the Blue Claws, of course, did not qualify for the postseason, so their season ended. Reading, their season will end today, and they will not move on to the playoffs. Lehigh Valley will go into the final week of their season 6.5 games back of the Rail Riders for first place in the International League second half race. But so mathematically, they're still alive, but they're hanging on by a thread. They got to win out and get some help. They really got to win out. Everyone else has got to lose. That's ahead of them. There's like 4 teams ahead of them. So we'll break down some fighting Phillies and some Iron Pig this week, and then next week we'll do the Iron Pigs as we wrap up the season, and then the following week we'll come back with our Down on the Phillies Farm 2025 season spectacular, as we'll recount the players of the year in all levels of Philly minor league baseball. So we're not done yet with the Down on the Phillies Farm, but we are definitely getting to that point. So let's get into the box score of this one. Royals 10 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Phillies 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. I already kind of broke down the offensive ineffectiveness of the Phillies. 3 runs all via the home run. JT did have a 2-hit game, which is pretty impressive. Other than that, offensively, the team was pretty quiet. Schwarber and Stott were the other 2 homers. So, I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. Harper over 3 again. I mean, Bader was 1 for 4, so Bader did get a hit, still up there in that leadoff spot, but there's really nothing positive to get into offensively with this team. For the Royals, how can you not give it to Salvador Perez, 2 for 5 with a run, 5 RBIs, a homer, as he was a bugaboo all day. The other home runs, because the Royals hit 3 as well, Bobby Witt Jr. with the homer, Salvador Perez and Tolbert with the homer as they powered the Royal attack, and Cangeloni, which is one of the highly prospected Royal players who was selected in the first round of the 2024 MLB draft. We talked about him last year as we were previewing the draft. He was also 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, had himself a home run. And how is it that the Royals can push up a player into their major league team a year after they're drafted, but the Phillies just don't seem to have the ability to do that? But he was also a top 5, but so it was a Royal offensive outburst today for them as they scattered 12 hits throughout the game. Pitching, Aaron Nola, we broke his line down. Meza, the bullpen didn't fare much better than Nola did. Meza, Trevino, and Lazar were battered around. They just were ineffective as well, giving up 4 runs between the collective group. Just a bad game. For the Royals, Cameron gets the win, 7 strong, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned a walk, 7 strikeouts. Did give up 2 home runs. Schreiber, Estevez, that guy, and Avila also pitched for the Royals today in their win. Scoring summary, the Phillies actually at one point were riding high in this game as they built themselves a 2-0 lead. Thanks in part to the first inning home run fest. Schwarber and Realmuto homer both in the first to give it 2-0, but then it was all Royals after that. Cangeloni would homer in the 5th inning, a 2-run shot to tie it. Pasquano doubled in Witt to make it 3-2. Then Perez would homer a 3-run shot in the 6th as well to make it 6-2. The Royals ended up scoring 4 runs in that 6th inning to kind of chase Nola and blow the thing out open. Perez would knock in Jensen and Pasquantino to make it 8-2 in the 7th. Stott would come back with the homer in the 8th. Witt would homer in the 9th, and Tolbert would sac fly in Pasquantino to make it 10-3. Is just a bad game. Phillies 0 for 0 with runners in scoring position. They left 2 on base. The Royals were 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They left 7 on base. And as you go, man, it's Drecky doesn't even pay to talk about this stuff. But that's your final today. 10-3. Phillies with the loss. Checking in on what's going on out in New York right now. Let's refresh as we're tracking the Mets Rangers currently. They're still in the top of the 10th. It is 2-2. So we are going to focus on that game as we go through. I'm not even going to. That's what our focus is going to be today, is on that Mets game. As we're going to keep track of it. Maybe the Phillies find their way into winning this division this way. So let's keep track of that. But what am I doing here? Let's look at this. Let's bring this up. Sorry about this, folks. Trying to do something real quick. Jeez Louise. Bear with me. All right, never mind. Let's get back to it. All right. So, again, 10-3. Let's head over to our Broad Street bottom line. All right, Broad Street bottom line today. Simply put, Aaron Nola's got to pitch better. You just can't. Yeah, I mean, Nola, his thing has been home runs lately. I just need a more consistent Aaron Nola. I do. And the Phillies staked them to a lead. It was early, yeah, but they staked them to a lead. And Aaron Nola needs to do a better job in preserving that lead. Now, the offense, of course, needs to do a better job as well, but Nola needs to do a better job. The home runs are killing Nola. I mean, I'm never going to prescribe to a home run being a positive play in baseball when you're a pitcher. I'm never going to prescribe to that. And I know a lot of the new style, analytically driven people out there are like, well, solo home runs are okay. No, they're not. A home run's a home run. And Nola was giving up multiple bombs tonight. He was not giving up solo shots. He was giving up 2-3 run homers. So you can't have any of that. And he's got to be more consistent. He's got to be better. So I went on about a 5-minute rant at the top of the program about how I need a more consistent Nola, especially now that we're heading into the playoffs. So Nola, my Broad Street bottom line is Aaron Nola, and it needs to be a better version. We just simply needs to be better. So there you go. There's my Broad Street bottom line is Aaron Nola needs to be better, and he sucked today, honestly. And that was brought to you by the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And here you go, a little peek at the week in advance. This is what we got on tap this week. Busy day here on the network today. Tomorrow, we're doing some Phillies Dodgers post game. I will not be on tomorrow night with the final word, but I will be back with the Fightins final. Tuesday, I will be returning with the final word, and we will also do some Dodgers Phillies post game. Wednesday, little props, locks, and parlays, and Phillies Dodgers. Thursday, big day, Birds Blast, tacking third, and the final word. And then the wraparound returns Friday night, as well as some Fightins final as the Phillies will shift to Arizona. And then same thing on Saturday. No Penn State action this week as they have a bye week. So there you go. There is our week in advance here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, keeping you in the know whenever you need to know. So make sure you're tuned in, checking out all the stuff that we got here to offer. Let's head over now. Let's do another score check. I think they've gone to the bottom of the 10th. They have still tied at 2-2. The Mets have runners on first and second as they have a shot now to win this thing, to walk it off. So interesting. The Rangers fail to get the ghost runner in the top of the 10th. So the Mets are set up right now to win, which would, of course, preserve their life in the National League East at least for one more day. But let's hope the Mets find a way to met this up. But that's your latest check out in New York. 2-2 Mets Rangers, bottom of the 10th inning as they play on. Let's move on now to our let's get into some down on the Phillies farm. As I mentioned, pretty somber time of the year in baseball. It's bittersweet for me, right? I love, obviously, October baseball is probably one of the purest, greatest moments or times in sports, but it also symbolizes or means the end of baseball. Yeah, we have less baseball left than we have played. We have less baseball left than we've played for that current season. And as we've been shutting down the minor league systems throughout the season, it started back in late July when we said goodbye to the FCL Phillies. We say goodbye this week to the Blue Claws and the Threshers. We said goodbye to them last week. We say goodbye this week to the Fighting Phillies out of Reading. Next week, we're going to say goodbye to Lehigh Valley. I mean, I hate it. I'd rather we just play baseball all year round. There's nothing that says we can't do that, but we are shutting it down, and we're down to just two levels now, of two active levels of Phillies organizational baseball in the minors. We, of course, have the Phillies playing, but we're down to AA and AAA. But before we do AA and AAA, let's recap a little bit of the Clearwater Threshers. They did advance into the Florida State League divisional playoffs against Bradenton. They did not fare well. They were swept out of that series in 2 games, and they are done for the year. But one of the things that was very noteworthy, if not the Threshers making the playoffs, was noteworthy enough for you, but Phillies' first-round draft pick, Gage Wood, made his professional MLB or MILLB debut last week in one of the final games of the Threshers' regular season, and then he also pitched in the game 2 of the playoffs. Did not pitch well at all in either one of those games. Let's take a look at, here's some Gage Wood for you. This is Gage Wood in his MLB or his pro debut, 3 innings pitched over 2 games, finishes with a 13.50 ERA, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and no wins. As he really kind of, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bust when the kid's only pitched 3 innings of pro work, but it is a little bit of a splash of reality in the face of those people out there that were entertaining the thoughts of Gage Wood being part of the Phillies bullpen in the postseason. It just doesn't work like that, folks. It really doesn't. And Wood really kind of had was taken to school a little bit over the course of the last week and a half or so, as he sort of got an idea of what pro baseball all is. And I know, when you pitch Division I NCAA, it's high level competition. Don't get me wrong, it is, but it's not. It does not equate to AA level baseball. It does not equate to any level of professional Major League Baseball affiliated play. It does not. It just doesn't. You're dealing with college kids, yes. In the pros, you're dealing with kids from all over the world. You're dealing with the top athletes from all over the world who are now trying to scrape and claw their way to one common goal, and that's to get to the majors. So it's a whole other world. It's a higher level world. And as you move up the rung of professional baseball, it gets harder and harder. That's how it is. And Gage Wood's going to have to figure himself out, and he will. Obviously, he's going to get plenty of time. I think he's part of the Arizona fall team this year. I think he's heading out to Scottsdale, Arizona, to play for those Desert Dogs. I think he is. Then he gets shut down for a few months and then refocus himself on having a productive 2026. And that's all you can do. He's a young kid. He's going to make his way up. Probably will start in Clearwater next year with the Threshers in 26. Maybe if things go well, we see him up in Lakewood, up in Jersey Shore at some point. Back end of the 2026 season, if not early on in 27, if there is an early on in 27, if there's no strike or lockout. But Gage Wood's journey to the major leagues it's going to be a long walk. It's a very long walk for pitchers, especially pitchers who need to learn how to pitch at this level. And I'm not saying Gage Wood is a bust, and I'm also not saying he doesn't have the tools to succeed. He just has to refine those tools and pitch at the pro level. And this is not a sample size of what I'm going to gauge on. I'm not, but this was definitely a little dose of reality for everybody who held on to the belief that Gage Wood was somehow going to come in and help the Phillies this postseason. I don't hear many of those people talking these days, but just a little bit of a recap on Gage Wood and the Threshers as we move up now. And let's talk some AA Reading Fighting Phillies. Your fielder of the week is first baseman Alex Benelis. 4 games, 4 hits, 2 runs, a homer, and an RBI. Your pitcher of the week for an astonishing 3rd straight week. Folks, 3 weeks in a row, Griff McGarry has earned pitcher of the week honors. 1 game, 1 win, 8.5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. That earned run is wrong. I must have typed that wrong. I think he only had like 1 or 2 earned runs. 11 strikeouts, 5 walks, and a 1.69 ERA for McGarry this week. One of the more positive, good news stories that has come out of the Phillies minor leagues this year has been the emergence of Griff McGarry, or the reemergence, I should say, of Griff McGarry, as he's put himself back into relevance. It's going to be interesting what they do with McGarry next year, as well as Gene Cabrera, the other lights-out AA pitcher we had this year for the Fighting Phillies. Are those 2 individuals earmarked for Lehigh Valley? I would probably think going into next season, they're going to probably push them or give them an opportunity to get promoted to AAA. I really want to see both of them at that level. We definitely need as many starting arm caliber type players as we can get. And good news to see Griff McGarry pitch the way he's pitched this season. Sort of kind of bounce back. The Fighting Phillies were 3-3 over the week, 29-40 so far for the second half. It's been an absolute horror show in Reading this year. Here's to a better 2026. All right, let's move now to AAA. And this is something that doesn't happen often on this segment. We had the exact same players making the exact same honors back-to-back weeks. We've had multiple players get selected for back-to-back player of the or fielder of the week, pitcher of the week. But we've never had the same pitcher and fielder of the week go back to back. And we've had it here at AAA as Brewer Hicklin and Alan Rangel both get the honor again, going back to back here. Hicklin was 3 games, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 homers, and 4 RBIs. And there you see the line on Rangel as they go back to back for fielder of the week and pitcher of the week for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. First time that's happened this season at any level that we've done, where we had 2 pitchers or 1 player, 1 pitcher go back to back in the same 2 weeks. So congratulations, gentlemen. The Iron Pigs were 3-3 as they're battling their butts off to try to stay in this thing. Again, they got a half a game to play with. So they got to win out and get help, but their season is still mathematically alive for postseason contention. 36-28 now through the second half of 2025. So there you have it. Your condensed walk around the Phillies minor league system as we were shutting it down. Next week, we're going to talk about the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, as they'll be the only team left to report on. And then the following week, we'll wrap it all up and we'll present our of the year segment of Down on the Phillies farm as we'll recap the minor league. So hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap it up because I know it's on. Eagles Chiefs have begun, so I'm going to stop droning on here. Phillies lose 10-3. Not a great way to end. Let's take a look at one last time. It's over in New York, folks. It is over in New York. The Mets have won 5-2, and the Phillies will not have the opportunity to clinch today, as we'll have to wait till tomorrow. But so the Phillies will have to do it on the road. I hope the hell they can do it on the road. I don't want to come back. I don't want to see what that's like if you got to come back next Monday and you're still haven't clinched. But Phillies will head out to Los Angeles and hopefully clinch the NL East at Dodger Stadium, as they'll start a 3-game set tomorrow night against the Dodgers. I'll be back tomorrow night with the Fightins final, so maybe I get to report then on a Phillies 2025 NL East championship. But not happening today. Phillies lose, Mets win, and there will be no NL East today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will talk to you. I'll see you guys later tonight on the final word. Enjoy Eagles Chiefs. Be back here for Eagles Chiefs post game. Remember all the other great stuff here on the network throughout the week as we got you covered. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll talk later.